Kindlers, welcome to another episode of KindleCashFlow.com. Ty Cohen here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you don't feel like taking action? Whatever that action is. You don't feel like writing if you're a writer. You don't feel like working the Kindle Cash Flow system. You don't feel like uploading content to Amazon. You don't feel like moving forward. You're just having one of those days. And for some of us, it might be one of those weeks. It might be an entire month where it just does not seem like, you're as engaged, you're as open and excited about things. What do you do? Well, on this episode, we're going to talk about how do you get past that and how you continue on your journey and why it's so important to have this one thing that's going to help you push through whenever you're in that state, whenever you're in a state of blah, right? That's what I like to call it, the state of blah, because we all get there. Every single one of us, we tend to get there. We're human, right? We tend to have days and weeks and months and even years that are really, really good, and then we also have days and weeks and months and again even years that might not be so good, that might be blah. So one of the ways that I personally find uh, that makes it easier for me to push through when I'm having one of those days where it's tough for me to continue with the mission, where it's tough for me to uh, to just maintain my focus. One of the number one things that works well for me is understanding what my why is. What is my reasoning for doing this? Right? So if you're part of this Kindle Cashflow program and you're selling content or you have a desire to sell content on Amazon's platform or any of the other platforms that I might talk about, what is your reason? Have you ever thought about that? Like deep down inside, what is your number one, your primary driver for wanting to do this? Is it because it's been a lifelong goal of yours? It's been your mission as a writer to get your content out there, to build up this audience of readers that appreciate what it is and who you are? Is it that, you're looking for a way to just make additional money and just change your life and do something that you know that you deserve? Or is it because of the people that are in your lifestyle right now, that are in your life, I should say? Is it because of your family, your children, right? Your husband, your wife? Do you have someone that's depending on you that you must make this work for? So whatever your reason is, right? Whatever your reason is, use that as your why. And whenever you have a strong enough why, you have a strong enough reason, that can help you push through those days when you're having those blah moments, when you just don't feel like doing anything. I'll tell you, sometimes we also need a few different whys. Sometimes we need a few different reasons. One of my main reasons is because, I worked at Walgreens Pharmacy and I spent a considerable amount of my working years uh, working for them. And I just knew that I deserved more. I knew that there was a lot more out there for me. I knew that no matter what I did there at the company, I still wasn't going to be totally fulfilled. And just getting out of that zone and trying something different. I didn't even know what it was, but just what it was that I had to try. But I knew that trying something different would give me a sense of relief, a sense of, you know, at least you put an effort in. And sometimes that's where we need to be. Sometimes we need to be in a position of at least we put an effort in. So that was one of my whys. And then as I got a little older and I started to have more serious relationships, like with my wife, and then we started to have children, then they became my why, right? So now my why is I grew up extremely poor, and um, so one of my whys was I never wanted my children to experience that, to experience having to go hungry, to experience having, your hot water shut off, or having to take cold showers in the winter, right? Having no heat in the winter. I never wanted my children to experience that. So it became my why as to why I must make something work. So when you have a very powerful why, then you're going to push through those moments when you think that you can't do it, which is natural because every single one of us experiences those at those moments at some point. right? And then as I continued to get older and my mother continued to get older, right? And she started to depend on me more, right? As her son, who she looked at as the individual that can care for her, that can, be there when she needs me. She became another why of mine. So do you see how you have multiple whys over time, and your whys can change as well, right? So I always wanted to be able to, again, like I said, we grew up really poor, so my mom, she never got a chance to experience travel and just eating amazing foods and living, debt free, and just experiencing the things that she truly deserves to experience, right? So I took it upon myself as her son to take her across the planet on some amazing trips, to give her a life where she just doesn't have to worry about anything. She doesn't have to worry about money. She doesn't have to worry about how her bills are going to get paid or how her mortgage is going to get paid, right? She doesn't have to worry about a car payment or any of that. So think about what your why is, and then write that down. And sometimes, again, you're going to have multiple whys. So if you have a few different whys, and sometimes your whys can be really selfish. It's okay. They can be ego driven, right? I want to make X number of dollars. That is totally okay, because that was one of my whys as well. To make $1 million in a year, totally fine. To see every state in the United States, right? To travel the planet and see multiple countries. To jump in a huge RV and drive across country, right? And up the Pacific Highway once we got to the West Coast. So sometimes your whys can be, they can be a little bit superficial, they can be egotistical, that's fine, right? But you must have a why, because that will help push you through when it gets tough, when you have those blah moments. So this podcast was a little bit longer than normal, but I wanted to share that with you because that's going to be super, super, super important for you to be successful at Kindle Publishing or anything in life, to be honest with you. So I hope you got a lot out of this. Let me know if you guys are interested in this type of material as well, me covering things like this, because this is not directly Kindle Publishing related, right? But it is that surface level um, support that helps you to do well with Kindle publishing. So if you want me to talk about mindset and motivation and things like goal setting, please let me know in the comments. And as always, go ahead and share what you think was your best moment out of this podcast. Let me know what you appreciate out of what I just shared with you. So go ahead, post it in comments. I love reading what you guys have to say. And let me also know, what is it that you're finding the most difficult uh, of this entire Kindle publishing process. And I'll be sure to cover that in a future podcast. I'll see you soon. And if you don't have the Kindle Cashflow program, visit www.kindlecashflow.com. I'll see you.